Hey, what's up? Hello, Katie here, and I'm going to be doing my May TBR. And if you're wondering why I look so insanely excited right now, it's because I have my first ever sponsorship for a video, and my mind is reeling. Like, who am I? Who do I think I am? I don't know, but Book of the Month reached out to me and asked if they could sponsor me, and I was like, say less. So absolutely you're about to be seeing that. I'm so freaking shook, but I'm going to be opening that box in the daylight tomorrow, but I'm going to be editing it in right now. So say hello to self-insert Katie. Here we have the 5 absolutely stunning hardcovers that Book of the Month has hand-selected for us in the month of May. First of which being Things We Lost to the Water by Eric Nguyen. This is a moving, multi-generational saga about one Vietnamese family's attempt to weather the storms confronting them in their adopted home of New Orleans, Louisiana. Imposter Syndrome by Kathy Wang is a very early release as it's coming out May 25th. It's a contemporary fiction where Big Brother turns out to be Big Sister and this piercing take on Silicon Valley and the misogyny that keeps it ticking. Oh, and did I mention the main character is a Russian spy? Yeah, I can't wait. Then we have The Last Thing He Told Me by Laura Dave. This action-packed thriller follows a new wife and stepmother who must unravel the mystery left behind when her husband disappears. There's fake identity, security fraud, and more secrets than she ever could have imagined. Ariadne by Jennifer Saint is a classic Greek myth retelling of the Princess of Crete. Ariadne, who falls in love with Theseus, Prince of Athens. In a world where women are nothing more than the pawns of powerful men, will Ariadne's decision to betray Crete for Theseus ensure her happy ending, or will she find herself sacrificed for her lover's ambition? And the last is How Lucky by Will Leach. Is a contemporary fiction of a fiercely resilient young man grappling with a physical disability and his efforts to solve a mystery unfolding right outside his door when he is almost certain he sees his neighbor being kidnapped. Let me tell you a little bit about what Book of the Month is about. It is a book subscription service where all of the good people at Book of the Month go through hundreds of new and early releases to pick out 5 different books in 5 different genres that they think are the cream of the crop, the books you should really have your eye on. And the different genres are traditionally historical fiction, contemporary, nonfiction, and always a thriller, which I love, and that's usually my pick. And sometimes they'll even have fantasy options that they'll put onto their add-ons. So what you do is you pick one of those books, and then you have the option of picking 2 add-ons. Now, another thing about Book of the Month is that it's only $14.99 a month, which is absolutely insane. Like, it's new hardcover releases. You're not going to find that price anywhere else. And if you use my code, I'll have it on the screen and I'll have it linked down below. If you use my code, it's only $9.99 for your first book. Like, are you kidding me? Like, are you freaking kidding me? You're not going to beat that price. You absolutely won't. Like, I haven't, and I've scoured the internet to find a better price, and you absolutely can't. And something I really want to add on to this is that their skip policy is absolutely phenomenal. So what you do is if, say, there's a month where none of the books are really intriguing you right now, or you just don't really, your TBR can't handle anything else, and you don't want to spend some extra money, you can skip the months for no extra charge. They're not gonna let you get charged unnecessarily. I'm so happy that they asked to sponsor me. And I hope that if you do not already have Book of the Month, that you will consider joining, because I know I get it every month and I love it. Okay, let's jump into the video that you actually clicked on, and those are the books that I'm going to be reading for May, a couple of which are left over from last month, either things I said I would put on my TBR or books that I am currently reading going into the next month, and one of which is The House on the Cerulean Sea by TJ Klune. This is a double hitter because not only was it on my last month TBR, it was on the month before that and the month before that, and I am currently reading it. I think I'm on page like 85 or something like that, but it's so good so far. So I do believe, without a shadow of a doubt, unless something drastically insane happens, that I will be finishing this in May. But this is about a man named Linus Baker, and he is a caseworker for magical children, and he's a rule follower. He's very by the book. When one day he is called or summoned upon by extremely upper management to work a very highly classified case of what he has to do is he has to go and check up on an orphanage that's on this remote island that houses very dangerous children to make sure that it's being run properly, because extremely upper management cannot get a lot of information from the guy that owns it or the guy that runs the orphanage, Arthur. So the word on the street is that Arthur and Linus is like a gay love story, and we love to see it. We love to see it. Like, I'm obsessed. And so far through the book, I'm like, I freaking love it. I love all the children, and they're all super dangerous. Like, one of them is the Antichrist. One of them's literally just a blob. Like, One of them's just like a freaking dragon. Like, it's so cute. I'm only 85 pages in and I'm freaking obsessed. And what I've gathered from the synopsis is that basically Linus has to discover whether he's going to destroy a home or watch the world burn. Don't know how that's going to happen, but I'm so invested in finding out. Like, guys, this is top tier for May for sure. The other book that I'm currently reading is an audiobook, and it is What Big Teeth by Rose Boy. So this is a debut novel, and it is very strange. It's following Eleanor, who just basically fled from her boarding school after this crazy event happened, and she went back to her estranged family, but her family is like very Addams Family-esque. Like, they're very bizarre, very monstrous. Like, some of them are wolves. There's some of them that are like bog people. They have like crazy like animal instincts. It's very wild. And then there's this stranger or like a family friend that's in the house that she doesn't know but is like very intrigued by, and all of them seem very drawn to him. And basically her grandma ends up bestowing upon her, bequeathing her the family, even though she's 17, and says, it's your job to protect them. And Eleanor is left wondering, from what? Or from who? What is it that her grandma's telling her that she's got to save the family from? I'm saying all of that knowing literally nothing else, even though I'm 54% of the way through the book. I have no idea what's going to happen. I have no idea really what is happening. It's very weird, very like fairy tale-y, kind of cartoony, grimoire kind of thing. It's very weird. It's got like a Tim Burton-y kind of feel to it. I'm really hoping that I like it. Like, it's a debut. I don't know. I hope it's dope. Another carryover from May is The Burning God by R.F. Kuang. Now, I read the first two books in this series, The Poppy War and The Dragon Republic, in May, and I absolutely loved them. I gave The Poppy War 4 stars, and I gave The Dragon Republic 4.5 stars. Now, I do believe I would have given them higher ratings if I'd been reading them physically, but I was gifted the series, which I am so incredibly grateful for, by Kelly Wilson. I was gifted the series on audio, and I do not suggest the audio. I don't think that is the way to read this series. Grace and I are... SIRI doesn't care about what I'm talking about right now, but her negativity aside, what I was saying is that Grace and I are buddy reading this, and she's physically reading the book and I am listening to it, and there are times where I'll complain about something and she's like, no, that's not what they said. And I'm like, the narrator is like crying while she's saying it, and Grace is like, she wasn't crying. Nowhere in the book does it say she was crying. And I'm like, okay, well, maybe that's why I find this character so annoying, because she's so whiny. And Grace will read me the page, and I'm like, yeah, that's not what the narrator makes it sound like at all. So anyway, I try to push past that. The series is absolutely phenomenal. I'll tell you a little bit about like generically what the series is about, because I don't want to give away any spoilers since this is the third book in a series. But the series in general is about, you're in ancient China, but you're following the historical events of the Second Sino-Japanese War in the first book, and then in the second and third book, it is the Chinese Civil War. So you're following our main character, Rin, who is a poor Southern Asian girl, and she runs away from home to get initiated into Sinigard, which is a military school that's very elite and incredibly hard to get into. She tests into it, defying all odds, and nobody believes that she should get into it because she's completely poverty-stricken and she's from the South. And basically nobody in the South ever gets in because they're poor and lesser than. So she gets in, and in the first book, you're basically following her getting into the school, training in the school, and then Opium War strikes, and she is sent to work for, be a soldier for that. And then because of that, civil unrest happens and the Chinese Civil War breaks out. And then she is a part of all of that as well. And she's going through a lot of really gruesome war things that happen. And listen, I need to know what you guys are talking about. Why does everybody sob so hard reading The Burning God? I need to know. I need to know what the hype is about. So I will absolutely be reading this as soon as possible. Another book that I cannot even give a good explanation why I haven't read it yet, and I've been saying I was going to read it, and I just haven't, is The Sinister Mystery of the Mesmerizing Girl by Theodora Goss. This is the third book in the Athena Club series, first of which being The Strange Case of Alchemist's Daughter, in which I am obsessed. Obsessed. Truly obsessed. I am willing to be the one woman, captain, crew, everything for this boat, for the Athena Club. I'm going to sail it into all of your harbors. I'm docking at all your harbors and I'm telling you all to read it. And if you don't read it, I'm burning your dock down. Like, what are you doing? Like, get on this boat with me. It's freaking amazing. And the only reason that I have not picked this up yet, the only excuse I have is that I know I'm going to love it. I know I'm going to love it. And I keep telling myself I need to save it for a rainy day. I need to save it for like a moment, you know? But then I'm like, Katie, just read it. And Meg from Meg with Books, who I absolutely adore, she's the one that got me on the book in the first place. And she's messaged me a couple times on Instagram and asked me if I've read Sinister Mystery. And I'm like, no. And she's like, do it. I'm like, I know. Like, I need to. But like, oh my God, I'm so scared. Not scared I'm not going to love it, but scared that it's going to be over. Because the first two are 5 out of 5 shooting into the sun. And the people that have read this said it's better than the other two books. Impossible. Inconceivable. It can't be true. I'm not going to bore you with a lengthy synopsis to this because I've talked about it in nauseum. Like, I've literally will never shut up about this book. But in short, we are following a bunch of different girls that are monstrous in some way because they are the daughters of famous mad scientists who they came about from experiments from these mad scientists. So we're following a bunch of girls like Frankenstein, Moreau, Rappaccini, Jekyll, Hyde, and them coming together to this found family to save other girls who are being created by these mad scientists. And it's so beautiful. And in the first book, you're mainly following Jekyll and Hyde. In the second book, you're mainly following the storyline of Van Helsing and Dracula. And in this book, seemingly from the synopsis, you are following an Alice in Wonderland storyline while also following The Final Problem from Sherlock Holmes storyline. And by the way, did I tell you Sherlock Holmes is in all these books? Because it's a favorite of all time. It's like one of my favorite books I've ever read in my freaking life. And I am absolutely going to get to this. Like, Katie, you've got to read this month. Oh my God, what perfect timing. We have a book of the month book. So apropos. This is These Violent Delights by Chloe Gong. I know you've seen this in TBRs in the past. I don't know what's holding me back. I know I'm going to love it. I've been told that it has the Diviners vibes. And honestly, say less, like that's all I needed to know, okay? I know I've promised before and I'm here to promise again. I'm going to read this book. It will happen eventually. I will read this. I'm planning on reading it in May, but we've been here before. You know what I'm saying? This is a Romeo and Juliet retelling. It is set in Shanghai in 1926, and we are following Juliet, who is the heir to the Scarlet Gang, and we're also following Roma, who is the heir to the White Flowers Gang. They are past lovers with a bad history and a bad breakup. So they're both rivaling to take over the city. Like, their gang both wants to take over the city. But when a virus breaks out and people start clawing their own throats out, Roma and Juliet have to put down their guns and put down their grudges to solve whatever is going on, whatever kind of supernatural paranormal thing is happening, to save their city before there's nothing left to rule. And you have all my buzzwords. People are clawing their own throats out. It's a Romeo and Juliet retelling. It's set in 1926. It has Diviners vibes. It's about gangs. Oh, also it's about an opium war. I forgot to tell you that. So the Poppy War and this are like kind of hand in hand right now. And I'm obsessed. And I know, listen, past Katie, shut up. I'm here right now telling you I'm going to read this book. Next, we have The Lost Apothecary by Sarah Pinner, and this is about a female apothecary that secretly dispenses poisons to women so that they can murder the men who have done them wrong. Do I need to say anything else? Like, I could honestly stop there, but I'll give you a little bit more, to be a good synopsis giver. This is about 3 women in 2 different timelines. One of the timelines is in 1791, and we're following the women who are committing the crimes and the self-proclaimed justice as to why they believe the men deserved it. And then we're also following a woman in present day who is investigating what happened to the women who committed the crimes. I thought this was going to have a fantasy element to it because do you see this cover? It's freaking stunning. And it has like a fantasy vibe, but I've heard from people in the book community that this is more of a historical fiction. But like, honestly, I don't care. It's about women poisoning men. Like, we're here for it. And then we have The Vanishing Half by Britt Bennett. I have heard nothing but phenomenal things about this book. I don't know a bunch about it because it is a little bit more vague because it's more of a contemporary fiction. So there isn't like huge thematic things they're going to tell you in the synopsis. Basically, this is about a set of twins who live in the deep South and they run away from home at 16. Both of them leave each other though and live incredibly vastly different lives. One of them goes back to the same southern town that she tried to escape and lives with her black daughter. And the other girl decides to live as white passing and marries a white man who has no idea what happened to her in her past and no idea that she's black. So I don't know situationally what happens after that, but I know that it is following both of these girls and how your life can change and how different your life is when you identify as and are perceived as white, or identify and are perceived as black. So it's following both of them and their lives. I'm very intrigued by this. I just got another Britt Bennett book, The Mothers, which I'm planning on reading next month, but I'm very, very interested in this. I've had my eye on it for a very long time, and I've never heard anybody say a single bad word about it. So I am excited to also jump on the train. Next, we have Honey Girl by Morgan Rogers. Let's take a second. Look at this cover. Are you seeing this? Stunning, stunning, beautiful. Is this a contemporary romance I think I'm actually gonna like? We're both shook. We're both freaking shook. I hope I do. It sounds like I will. And from what other people I really respect and admire and trust say, I think I will love it. This is following a girl named Grace, and my best friend's name is Grace. So like you already have a couple points for that. But we're following Grace Porter, who just got a PhD in astronomy, which is highly frowned on by her family, especially her incredibly strict ex-military father. So she decides she needs a little stress-relieving vacation. So she goes to Vegas, which I don't know why anybody would think that was stress relieving, but you know what, whatever. She gets incredibly drunk and she marries a girl she's never met. Yikes. So when she goes back home, she's completely appalled by what she's done, but she's met with these insane expectations and this horrible judgment from her family. So she's like, nah, fam. And she runs away to embark on this crazy relationship with her new wife, Yuki. I've heard that an adorable romance blossoms from there. And I'm like, listen, I'm ready for something fun and fresh. I want to be a part of it, okay? Everybody's reading it right now. Everybody's loving it. I love the cover. Can't wait to own it physically. Like, I'm down to ride, and I think this absolutely will happen in May. Okay, so for the last book on my May TBR, it is The Death of Vivek Oji by Akwaeke Emezi. I've heard that this book is going to make me cry. I want to cry. What's up? Everybody cries. I'm crossing my fingers. I want this to happen. All I know about this book is that it is one afternoon in Nigeria, a mother opens her door to find her son's dead body on her porch. That's really all I know about it, because the summary is like very vague, to be honest. But what I can gather is that you are following Vivek through his life, and he has like a very vibrant and mysterious life, and you're following him and figuring out why he ended up dead on his mother's porch. Like, that's really all I know. And like, honestly, I'm just here for the tears. Now we're here for the journaling part of this video. So I am going to do a little time lapse of me setting up my reading bullet journal for the month of May. Well, it took like 2.5 hours, but I love this. I love this. I couldn't do these as lemons because the yellow actually ran out, and that was not cute. And of course, I always hate my handwriting, but using the sponge for the ink actually turned out really cute, and I actually really dig it. Okay, if you've gotten this far into the video, comment the rose emoji for These Violent Delights. I would love that. That's going to be our emoji of the day. So I would love if you would comment that down below. And I want to say I am so, so happy. Thank you so much for watching this video. I am so excited that Book of the Month sponsored me. Like, I'm so proud of myself. Like, I don't know. I'm just like, I love it. And I really, really hope that these sponsorships continue to happen. I want to thank all of you who have subscribed, who have continued to watch my videos. You're the ones that have made this happen. And if you want to subscribe, the box is down below for you to click to subscribe. I post 2 times a week, sometimes 3 times a week, so you don't want to miss that. I will also have my bookish Instagram linked down below, as well as my Goodreads, if you want to follow me on any of those platforms as well. And oh my God, I'm just so happy. Thank you all so much, and have an amazing day, evening, night, whatever you're having, and I will see you in a video coming very soon. Bye.